don't have to look very hard to see signs of Paul Bunyan and Babe around the Bemidji area. In fact, as I drove around town and really started looking, I was amazed at how many places, whether it was shopping, eating, entertainment, or business, have the Paul Bunyan or Babe name. And of course, swimming really can be a year-round activity here in Minnesota. But outdoor sports aren't the only big thing around here. Welcome to Paul Bunyan country. I'm Jennifer Leitala, and I'm here in Bemidji, Minnesota, where outdoor recreation and sports are popular activities for tourists and locals all year round. When the weather turns cold, the bikes, rollerblades, hiking shoes, and fishing boats are put away, and a new season of recreation begins. Out come the downhill skis, snow tubes and sleds for the kids and parents alike, and the wax and cross-country skis for the myriad of trails and races throughout the area. But now let's not forget about ice skating, snowboarding, ice hockey, snowshoeing, ice fishing, and snowmobiling. And of course, swimming really can be a year-round activity here in Minnesota. But outdoor sports aren't the only big thing around here. Welcome to Paul Bunyan country. You don't have to look very hard to see signs of Paul Bunyan and Babe around the Bemidji area. In fact, as I drove around town and really started looking, I was amazed at how many places, whether it was shopping, eating, entertainment, or business, have the Paul Bunyan or Babe name. As you can see, there's a lot. And I started wondering, why are Paul and Babe such a strong influence in this area? I mean, even the police department have Paul and Babe on their patches and cars. Well, to find answers to my question, I headed to the Tourist Information Center, where I heard there were Paul Bunyan artifacts on display. And I met with Carol, who graciously agreed to show me some of Paul's stuff. Well, it looks like you got a lot of artifacts over here.
We do. A lot of them are real fun items to have.
Oh, look at this.
The candy bar.
I love it. Big old candy bar. That would probably take me about a week to eat, though.
Oh, at least.
Look at that. That is a candy bar.
And Paul Bunyan's toenails.
Oh my. Oh. That's Paul Bunyan's toenails. Where did you find those?
Well, they have been here longer than I have. And then, of course, we have his toothbrush.
Yeah, nice white teeth. Oh, and his ring.
And his ring.
Boy, I hope that's big.
And his money and wallet.
Wow, and I thought my purse was big. And we got other artifacts here, like his lighter. Now, is this a working lighter?
Yes.
Does it actually work?
Yes.
But it doesn't have any fluid in it?
And some of the other items down here is the fly swatter and deck of cards.
These are Paul Bunyan's baby moccasins?
Yes.
Those are some mighty big feet.
Why don't you step into it?
They fit? Now that I've been in Paul's shoes, literally, I'm getting the sense of just how big a legend he really is. The legend of Paul Bunyan reaches across the United States and Canada and started out as oral tradition from the lumberjacks. Then in 1910, a story about Paul and the round river drive came out in print, and he was later used as an advertising symbol for the Red River Lumber Company. Good old Paul was now a folk hero. Well, thank you so much for showing me around this place.
Glad you could come.
Thank you. Hey, where can I find one of those red and black Bunyan shirts?
Oh, they have them at the Bemidji Woolen Mills,
Bemidji Woolen Mills.
which is 4 blocks west.
All right, thank you. I will go there.
Back in 1937, my grandfather and a group of individuals in the Rotary Club decided to build the Paul and Babe statue. And so they started that project. And now it's one of the most photographed statues in the United States.
To learn more about the legend of Paul Bunyan in this area, I needed to learn more about lumberjacks. And so I'm going to Bemidji Woolen Mills for some lumberjack attire. Hey, good morning.
How are you today?
I am doing just great. How are you?
Great.
I'm looking for some Paul Bunyan plaid shirts.
Okay,
I've heard that this is a place to be.
this
Find
is
a
it.
place.
We have a variety back here. Let me show you.
Okay.
Here's the regular jack
Okay.
shirts here.
Yep, that looks very, looks like a shirt that Paul Bunyan wears. Does he shop here?
Oh, all the time.
See,
All these Paul Bunyans from Buena Vista come here and
oh,
get all their...
I'll get all their shirts.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Ooh, medium, large. What do you think? Medium? They look good on me?
Yeah,
Gonna fit?
I'm sure it will.
Okay. 100% wool.
Yes.
So why do lumberjacks wear wool?
Wool is worn because it is a natural fiber. It does not absorb moisture on the outside. It does absorb your body sweat so you don't get cold.
So very good to
But it's-
wear out in cold weather.
Yep, and it's quiet in the woods. It doesn't make noise like something else would. It's warm, very warm.
Well, that's good.
It's as warm in the winter as it's cool in the summer. And that's just what Paul Bunyan wears.
Just what you need for northern Minnesota winters when it's 40 below. All right, well, I think I want to try this on.
Sure. How about a pair of pants to go with it?
Hey, that might be cool. Let's go check that out.
You got pants right back here.
Ooh, those might work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now I got the pants. I got a wool shirt.
Yep. We have
Where
a
can I try these on?
fitting room over there in the corner.
All right. Let's go try these on. Yeah. We'll be out in just a second.
We've, over the years, we've come about it of ourselves from the necessity and commodity items that were in critical demand by lumberjacks to today's outdoor person that's rediscovering wool. And we've held on to our traditional lumberjack plaids and buffalo plaids, and we've brought back original designs and sharing them with markets throughout the United States and even around the world. And the one question is, why did lumberjacks wear bright plaid shirts? And I've been asking everybody, and there really is no, we can't trace it back to any one thing other than the fact that we think it was a trademark of lumberjacks in general, being out in the woods for long hours and working long, hard days all winter long, that they needed something to bring color to their occupation. Some had said for safety factors that when you're falling trees, that a bright plaid shirt would be would catch your eye out in the forest against the backdrop of white snow. And when these gentlemen would come to town on weekends or whatever, whenever they did come to town, you definitely would know who the lumberjacks were.
What do you think?
Hey, that's pretty special.
Huh? Yeah. Look at that.
There you go.
I got the wool shirt, the suspenders, wool pants, wool socks.
You're missing one thing. You need a hat.
I need a hat.
And I've got those
Lumberjacks
right
wear
over
hats.
here. Oh, you bet.
All right, let's go check out the hats.
Come on with me. Here's our lumberjack hats.
Okay, well, this is cool. I like the little pom-pom on the top. And what are these? Are these?
These are railroad hats.
Okay.
This is what the railroad men wear.
Well,
But the real lumberjacks wear the Scotch hats.
well, since I'm going lumberjack, I'm going to have to need a Scotch hat. Well, let's see. This matches.
Oh.
Yeah, what do you think? It's a little small.
A little small.
Well, let's put that there. That's a little bigger.
Whoops. I think that's a little big.
big.
Okay, let's try the next one.
Right. Oh, wow. Look at that. Even got flaps for your ears to keep them warm.
There you go.
Does that work? Does that
That's
look good?
it.
What do you think?
Yep.
That look good? Should be with the flaps, keep my ears warm. Or should I be a little more stylish? With cold ears instead. Good?
Whichever.
All right.
There you go.
This is great.
Well, thank you. You look just like a lumberjack now.
Well, thank you.
Come back
For your
again.
help.
Thank you for shopping Bemidji Woolen Mills.
Well, you have a good day.
Yes, you too. Thanks. Bye.
A popular Paul Bunyan tale is about the cooks needing skates to grease a giant flapjack griddle for hungry lumberjacks. Well, I'm just north of Bemidji at Beltrami Shores Resort, where the aroma of flapjacks will get you out of bed early on a Saturday morning. Now this is what I call a lumberjack breakfast. We got Paul Bunyan pancakes, lumberjack quiche, and Babe's breakfast pizza. Sounds very, very good. Lumberjacks are famous for their flapjacks, but they also ate stuff like baked beans, stews, fruits, meats, pies, and cookies, and other foods. But meals are serious business, since a day of logging could burn approximately 8,000 calories. Well, I won't be burning anywhere near that many calories, but the food is sure good. After all that food, I'm absolutely stuffed, but I'm raring to head farther north to Buena Vista for a tour of a logging village and the annual festival of logging days. Buena Vista ski area is widely known for its recreation. During the winter, activities range from downhill skiing, snowboarding and tubing, to sleigh rides, cross-country ski races like the Finlandia, and other activities. But Buena Vista, like Bemidji, has a tangible history in the logging era.
Buena Vista is a Spanish word and it means beautiful view. And as you look around from the top of Buena Vista, you can see why they named it Buena Vista, because it is an absolutely gorgeous view. Buena Vista was named in 1896 by my great-great-grandfather J.W. Spielman. It was largely by his energy and that of his son-in-law Ralph Dickinson that this town started. Unfortunately, Buena Vista lost the county seat by a handful of votes to Bemidji, who got the railroad in 1898 that ran from Duluth to Grand Forks. But it is on the National Register of Historic Places as an archaeological site and a logging town. One of the few logging towns that would remain as it once was, with many foundations of buildings still in place. Where I see Paul and Babe coming into the picture and how that ties into what we do with the Buena Vista Logging Village is really Paul and Babe represents a lot of the history in this area. I mean, everywhere you look, you see Paul and Babe, and the statue of Paul and Babe down at the shores of Lake Bemidji is, you know, it's an icon. It's a piece of Americana. And so what we try to do out at Buena Vista Logging Village is to bring people there and let them experience what it is like to take a sleigh ride or watch some logging demonstrations, enjoy a flapjack breakfast, that type of thing.
logging camp.
I see that. Now this building is actually a replica of an original one, right?
It's pretty much a replica of what they used.
Wow.
They would use the trees, they cut the trees down and made a log building out of it. It could become the bunkhouse or the cook shack.
So would people,
Primarily, the earlier ones were made out of logs.
so people could sleep in here or eat in here?
Sleep or eat, yeah.
What would this be used for?
That's what they call a peavy.
PV?
That's used for, mainly for top loaders, like we'd be doing out here in live action. It would be used for topping, you know, sending the logs up on the big sleighs or the railroad cars.
We got a,
That's a crosscut, two-man crosscut saw. Hear that ring? You used to hear when they go back and forth, they would ring. Zing, zing, they'd ring.
wow.
Get on both sides of it. The tree is over here, and here you go with it.
And for those really big trees, you need a really big saw. Along with the saw, other tools like the pike pole, lamps, and two-bitted axe were also commonly used.
Logging Day started in 1984. We just celebrated our 20th annual event and had an awesome turnout, better than ever. And where I see this going is bringing in more and more people to participate and enjoy a celebration that is basically a reenactment of logging and how it used to be in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Horses were the backbone of early logging, and good teams were very well taken care of by the barn bosses. Percherons, mostly bays, blacks, and grays, were commonplace in the camps and were used in pairs for skidding logs and in teams of 4 and 6 horses pulling the big sleighs and tote sleighs which hauled supplies, food, grain, and equipment to the camps. In more recent years, Belgians, Clydesdales, and other breeds have become quite popular. Even the top loaders and teamsters were treated with more respect than other camp workers and were oftentimes quartered in separate areas.
I've been around the world a bit and seen beasts great and small, but the one I mean to tell about, for Darren beats 'em all. He leaves the woods with bristles raised the full length of his back, and he's known to the men of science as the festive lumberjack. He's a wild rip-snorting devil every time he comes to town. He's a porky, he's a moose cat, too busy to sit down. And when his silver's registered and his drinks is comin' few, he's as tame as any jack that's met his Waterloo. When he's in camp, he's very wise, he'll tell you of his plans. He's figured out a way to beat the long white apron man. He means to give up drinking booze and climb right up in fame. Within a year of time, he'll own a handsome little claim. He's a wild rip-snorting devil every time he comes to town. He's a porky, he's a moose cat, too busy to sit down. And when his silver's registered and his drinks is comin' few.
This is First City Squares, Bemidji Square Dance Club.
Recycle.
And I tell ya, they love to dance with Paul Bunyan's size flair.
A Sunday suit, wanna hold your hand in mine. Swing when you meet, then you promenade the line. You only get one chance to listen to the wind. When it's gone, it won't be back again. Those heads square through in the middle and you get 4 hands around. When you meet that corner, do a logger's handshake. Step to the waist, swing through and travel halfway around. Come down the middle and pass the ocean. Extend, swing through, go 2 by 2, spin a time. Boy, move up and do the right thing.
Now it's my turn.
Circle, let that dancing moon is on the water. Do you feel it climb?
When lumberjacks weren't working or sleeping, they were out, having fun. And sometimes there would be a barn dance, or other times just a small group of people dancing to a fiddle or other instruments. Today, square dancing is a fun and popular activity across the country, and many square dancers love to dress in the traditional clothes with the vibrant colors and skirts and petticoats that twirl. I think I'm ready for bed now.
beer left. You swing that corner, lady, promenade that set. For 24 years, I've been living next door to Alice. Alice? Who the heck is Alice? The sides you promenade and travel halfway around. Come down the middle and pass the ocean, extend your tag. Recycle here to a reverse flutter wheel. Beer right, you Ferris wheel. Center's beer right, beer left. You swing that corner, lady, promenade that set. For 24 years, I've been living for a chance. Swing with your girl, promenade her with romance. I gotta get used to not living next door to Alice. Alice? Who the heck is Alice? For 24 years, I've been living next door to Alice. Alice? Who the heck is Alice? She was an old girlfriend. You're welcome.
Paul Bunyan also has a strong presence outside the Bemidji area, since logging was a major industry in Minnesota in the late 1800s to early 1900s, and I visited a few of these places. Along with Bemidji, the Brainerd-Baxter area have statues, the Paul Bunyan State Trail, and lodging like the Paul Bunyan Inn, and entertainment like the Paul Bunyan Amusement Park and Bowling Alley. Another city, Hackensack, is the home to Paul's girlfriend Lucette and Paul Jr. Akeley has Paul's Cradle. God, isn't that thing huge? Imagine the diapers. There's also the Historical Museum and the Round River Drive Trail in the Paul Bunyan Forest. One of the most unusual things that I found was when I was up in Kelliher. I was saddened to find Paul Bunyan Memorial Park, where Paul's grave is located. But as the saying goes, rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated, and I hear that he hangs out with Elvis a lot. But there's nothing like curling up next to the fire and reading a good tall tale to my nephew. And it made me realize that in search of Paul Bunyan, I found him in the lumberjacks and in the rich logging history of Bemidji, Buena Vista, and the surrounding area. And when I see Paul Bunyan now, I see more than a giant folk hero. I see a symbol of our past and how it has influenced our present. Physically going out there and shooting. It worked great to be able to shoot on my own schedule and do it on my own time, and that was probably the biggest challenge. I had a lot of help from family and friends. They carried camera equipment, or they were running the camera, or the editing equipment was great on a laptop because I was able to lay in bed and edit the whole time. Yeah, there were some things that I would have liked to have done differently. If I had been physically able to, I would have liked to have been more involved with hands-on. With the Buena Vista part of it and logging days, I would have loved to have been able to maybe drive a team of horses, take a little, have an experience with the crosscut saw. Just get more involved with the hands-on. With this current project right now, I just wasn't able to do that. Working with people, I met a lot of new people during this project, and even made some good friends. And I think that was the most fun, was just getting out into the community and meeting new people and learning more about where I'm from. And I think that was a lot of fun. Don't be scared to do it. Just jump in with both feet and have fun. And the great thing about this project is that it gives people who have never done this before a chance to learn, but they can also do it at their own pace, basically. And they can shoot a little bit at a time. And if they don't understand it, they can come in and get help. And this whole project is kind of almost viewed as kind of a learning process. Somebody who's never done this before, they're not expected to be professionals when they do this, and it's their project. And so there's a lot of freedom and excitement and maybe a little fear that you're completely in charge of a project that you've never done before, but it can be very empowering too. And so regardless of your ability or your schedule or any physical ability or mental ability or technical ability or anything, I think you can do it.